Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the G.I. Joe Dollar General exclusive Storm Shadow. Yep, you heard that right, Dollar General exclusive. They've gotten this really cool wave of repainted G.I. Joe figures. They're basically just mishmashed parts from other previously released G.I. Joe figures, but with some really cool paint jobs. Paint jobs that harken back to some of the vintage G.I. Joe figures. Upon seeing this particular Storm Shadow figure, I knew that he was a must-have for my collection. Now, Storm Shadow comes on this smaller style card back, which actually has an Arashikage symbol in the background. It's a pretty basic looking card back, but I'll be honest, it looks a lot cooler than the current G.I. Joe Retaliation card backs. And the back of that box gives us a look at the other figures in this Dollar General exclusive wave. So as you can probably tell, this figure is actually based on a figure of Storm Shadow that was released in the early 90s. He's wearing a black and white colored outfit. Now that figure from the 90s, I know, is not everybody's favorite figure for Storm Shadow, but I'll be honest, he was always one of my absolute favorite versions of the character. Probably just due to the fact that he was the first version of Storm Shadow I had as a kid, and one that I always played with. Thus is the reason I had to own this new version. Now, the overall figure itself looks really nice. As I said, it's just a mash of parts that we've seen on a previously released Storm Shadow figure. So the hood on there is actually removable. It's a separate piece, unlike the vintage figure. You can pop that off if you want to, which just reveals a masthead underneath. And the detailing on the rest of the figure is really nice. The sash piece going across his chest is separate, so it can be removed if you want to. And of course, the paint job on the figure resembles that vintage one with the black and white design. It's really nice looking, though I do have a bit of some black smudges on the white. Overall, I do really like the look of the figure. Now, the articulation on this guy is really nice. You have the ability to turn the head left and right and slightly up and down. He has ball hinge joints at the shoulders, allowing for full rotation. He has a swivel right above the elbow and a single elbow joint, a swivel at the wrist. The torso section rocks. He has the hinge joints on the thighs there, allowing for a good range of motion outwards and forwards backwards. He has double jointed knees. He has swivels right above the ankles, as well as some nice actual ankle joints. So there is a good amount of posability with this figure. Another good thing about the figure is he includes a G.I. Joe figure stand. There's no actual name printed on it, it's just black, but the fact that he comes with a figure stand is a major plus. Seeing as how none of the Retaliation figures come with stands, I was very happy that this, being a low-budget Dollar General figure, actually comes with a stand. I thought that was a great inclusion. Now, as far as accessories go, Storm Shadow includes this really cool bow and arrow piece. It's sculpted in black, and of course the little arrow is just molded to the design. The hands on the figure are actually sculpted specifically for this bow, so you can place the bow in his right hand, and his left hand is actually molded to look like it's pulling the arrow back. So you can get some really cool poses out of it, both two-handed and even single-handedly. Now, as a second accessory, he does include one solid black sword. Unfortunately, both of his hands being molded more for that bow and arrow, he does have a hard time holding onto the sword. Both of his hands can hold it, but they don't do a great job of holding it. It is kind of loose, especially in the right hand. And unfortunately, there's no sheath or anything like that to put the sword in. You'll notice on the back of the sash piece he's wearing, there is a little knob where it looks like there was supposed to be a sheath or something for his sword, but there's not, unfortunately. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Here's Storm Shadow alongside the vintage version that he is based on. Now, of course, there are some differences. This new version doesn't have the gold on the figure like the old one did, and he's also missing the details wrapped around the thighs there, but you can see that this new repaint is an obvious nod to this vintage version. I absolutely love this figure. I really, really do. I know that the consensus isn't all the same about this particular costume for Storm Shadow, but as I said before, I love this particular Storm Shadow outfit. It was one of my favorites as a kid, and I think it's really cool that we got this repainted version in a new modern figure. Now, these Dollar General exclusives are actually kind of hard to come by, and I can honestly see why. The whole wave is full of some really cool repaints, and there's definitely a few others that I absolutely had to grab, and we'll be taking a look at soon. The Dollar General exclusive Storm Shadow figure is on store shelves now, so happy hunting, and until next time.